It was a bright summer day, and the Martinez family gathered in their spacious yard. Carlos, the head of the family, sat in the shade of the gazebo, dressed in a robe with a dark blindfold covering his eyes. He sipped his coffee while his wife, Isabella, lounged by the pool, sunbathing with a cocktail in hand. She looked stunning with her perfect figure and impeccable appearance, her long lashes resembling the rays of dawn. Annoyed, she called out to her stepdaughter, Lena, a little girl who was darting around the pool, trying to catch a butterfly with a net. "Lena, stop running. Can't you play quietly for just 5 minutes? You troublesome girl," Isabella shouted. The child, full of energy, with curly brown hair and chubby cheeks, was the picture of an angel. Already accustomed to her stepmother's coldness, Lena didn't flinch when scolded. A large, colorful butterfly rose from the pool, and Lena, entranced, pulled out her phone, hoping to capture the moment. She inched closer to the pool, and suddenly, she fell headfirst into the water. Panicking, Lena began to scream and flail, as she wasn't a strong swimmer. "Dad! Dad, help me," she cried out, her voice filled with terror. Carlos, almost blind, was thrown into a panic. He rushed toward the pool, stumbling and feeling his way with his hands, calling out to his wife for help. "Isabella, can't you hear her? Help Lena! I beg you, I can't see anything, where do I go?" he shouted desperately. But Isabella remained on her sunbed, more irritated than concerned. "I told her to stay still. This will teach her a lesson. Stop screaming. Someone get her out of the water," she said dismissively. Miguel, the gardener, who had been mowing the lawn nearby, quickly dropped his tools and sprinted to the pool. He jumped in and pulled Lena out of the water. Shivering and scared, Lena ran to her father, hugging him tightly. "Dad, I was so scared. I just wanted to take a picture of the butterfly, and my phone fell in the water too. I didn't mean to," Lena sobbed. "It's okay, dear," Carlos reassured her, gently stroking her hair. "We'll get you a new one. Those are just things. The most important thing is that you're all right. Go inside and change, but please, be more careful. The tiles are slippery. Don't scare your dad like that again." Isabella, hearing this, became furious. "You're so weak, Carlos. You should have punished her for disobeying you. She almost drowned and ruined an expensive item, and all you do is pamper her." Carlos scolded Isabella harshly. "How dare you? She nearly drowned, and instead of helping, you just sat there. Thanks to Miguel, she's okay. Lena is just a child, and she lost her mother. I love her very much, and if you want to stay with me, you'll have to accept that. Do you think your own child won't run around and misbehave? And yes, I'll find a nanny. I've already put out an ad, but since I can't see, it's hard to manage that." Realizing she had gone too far, Isabella quickly backtracked. "Carlos, dear, I'm just irritated," she said, her tone softening. "I love you, but I can't spend all day taking care of Lena. I have workouts, spa appointments, and beauty treatments. Your business and your daughter are now my responsibility, so please find a nanny. It will make life easier for all of us. I have to go now. I have a manicure appointment and a massage. I love you, don't miss me." Lena, relieved that her stepmother was leaving, sat quietly next to her father, hugging him with her small hands. "I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't mean it. Why is Isabella so mean? She doesn't love me, and you don't see it. I miss my loving mother so much." Carlos sighed, holding his little daughter close. "I miss her too, my angel. She was the best. But you know she's in heaven now. Isabella isn't that bad, you just haven't gotten used to each other yet. But I promise, you'll choose your nanny yourself. In fact, another candidate should be arriving soon." The girl kissed her father's cheek and ran off to play with her toys in the yard. Meanwhile, Carlos closed his eyes in pain, remembering his life with his first wife, Marina. Marina was beautiful, a perfect homemaker, and, most importantly, she loved Carlos deeply. They were supposed to live happily ever after, but 2 years ago, she passed away from a severe genetic disease. Everything started after childbirth. First, her vision worsened, then her memory, and finally, her arms and legs stopped working. Marina became bedridden and gradually faded away. It was terrifying to watch a young and beautiful woman become a helpless invalid. Carlos prayed and cried out in helplessness, but no matter how much money he spent on medicine, he couldn't make her recover. After Marina's funeral, their daughter, Lena, isolated herself, cried for a long time, and still mourned her mother. Carlos thought he would never live with anyone else. But one day, during a business dinner at a restaurant, he saw Isabella. She was sitting with a friend, drinking martinis and chatting lively. The business dinner turned into fun with dancing, and they danced to slow music. Fate was powerless against Isabella's beauty, and so their romance began, quickly leading to marriage. Isabella quickly settled in and assumed the role of the mistress of the house, assigning tasks to everyone and directing the staff. But she and Lena simply did not get along. It was mutual. To be honest, Carlos thought Lena was just jealous of his new wife and that it would pass with time. But even after 2 years, the situation did not improve. The stepmother and stepdaughter fought often. Recently, 2 weeks ago, a terrible incident occurred. Carlos's driver, Javier, asked for leave for personal reasons, and Carlos had to drive to work himself that day. The businessman stayed late at work, and as he approached his car in the parking lot, 3 men attacked him from behind. He fought back, but one of the attackers sprayed pepper spray directly into his eyes. Fortunately, a passing police car scared the men off, but the burn in his eyes was so severe that Carlos almost lost his sight. Now, he had to wear dark sunglasses or an eye patch while undergoing intensive treatment. The doctors warned him that if the medications didn't help, he would need surgery to restore his vision. This gave him some hope, but he was still terribly nervous. Carlos was practically incapacitated for a while and had to stay at home. What bothered him most was that he couldn't understand who he had offended so much. He hadn't had such intense conflicts in a long time. Now, he needed to manage the company from home, make connections with partners, and hold online conferences. Surprisingly, his wife Isabella quickly got involved in the business and threw herself headfirst into it. Carlos's thoughts were interrupted by a pleasant voice. "Are you Carlos Martinez? My name is Julia. I'm here for the nanny position. I'm scheduled for 12 o'clock. Carlos smiled. He couldn't see the young woman holding his hand, but something about her voice made him feel at ease. He began asking questions. "Julia, how old are you? How long have you worked with children? Do you have recommendations from your previous job? And what is your education? I love my daughter and want to find a real professional for her." Julia sighed. "Then I'm probably not suitable for you. I don't have recommendations, but I love children very much, and I'm ready to work for a small salary. I've already met Lena. She's a wonderful girl. I promise to be with her all the time." At that moment, Lena ran over, seeing her father hesitating and frowning. She started talking excitedly, winking at Julia. "Dad, let's choose Julia. I really like her, and you recently said I could choose a nanny myself, didn't you?" Carlos weighed all the pros and cons. Julia seemed very young to be a nanny, only 23 years old, with no experience or recommendations. Who knows what kind of person she was? But her voice was kind, and Lena really liked her. For the first time, he decided to trust his daughter's judgment. "All right, what will it be?" "Okay, Julia, you're hired, but on a trial basis. You can start right now. There's a schedule of dance and drawing classes. Take her out, help her with homework, make sure she eats well, and inform me of any changes in her health. Is everything clear?" The young woman almost cried with happiness. She really needed this job. "Thank you. I will try very hard." From that day, Julia began working for the Martinez family. She did an excellent job, and Lena simply adored her. Julia didn't pressure or scold her, they were more like friends. If Julia noticed that Lena was getting lazy or didn't want to study, she used a trick. She immediately organized a competition. Okay, whoever finishes the task faster and better will win the biggest and most delicious vanilla ice cream, and the loser will have to eat oatmeal porridge for 2 days. Personally, I hate oatmeal porridge. What about you? Lena would get offended and write those hateful alphabet letters, trying to outperform Julia and avoid eating bland oatmeal porridge. Carlos was happy with the new nanny. His daughter was doing well academically and was in a good mood. In the evenings, she would talk excitedly about how Julia showed her how to make a sophisticated hairstyle or create macarons. Only Isabella was not enthusiastic about the new nanny and continued to grumble. You chose a strange nanny for Lena. She's not just bold and young, but she pampers your daughter more than you do. What kind of education is this? We need to be stricter with Lena, otherwise she'll get too relaxed. The girl used to ignore me before, at least she would get annoyed. Now, she simply stays quiet and follows Julia around. Carlos said, "You won't be satisfied with any nanny, dear. No nanny is bad, but having a nanny also isn't good for you. If Lena is rude, you don't like it. If she says nothing, that's also bad. Maybe you just don't want to find a way to connect with the girl." Isabella pursed her lips and fell silent, thinking to herself, "Do what you want, just keep that annoying girl away from me. I'm so tired of her." There was a grand piano in the mansion, and Carlos used to be a musician in the past. Sometimes, he felt nostalgic and played some melodies on it. So when he heard Julia playing, he asked, "Julia, do you play the piano?" "I'm pleasantly surprised. I used to be a musician too. Play something else, I'm curious to hear." The girl blushed and replied, "I'm not a specialist, I just had a good music teacher at the orphanage who taught me and said I had talent. I love music, especially this melody, it touches my heart." Julia played a slow, romantic tune, and Carlos was stunned. Tears streamed down his cheeks as old memories of his youth stirred his soul. He kept repeating to himself, "Oh my God, this is impossible." When Julia finished, he thanked her and asked, "Where did you learn this melody?" "It's not recorded anywhere. It was written by someone I knew." Julia replied, "My neighbor Anna taught me to play it. She's a talented, kind woman, but she's going through a lot. Her son was taken away, and she was fired without reason. She's deeply depressed. I'm trying to encourage her as best I can." Carlos's heart raced, and his legs felt weak. He asked for more details. "How old is your neighbor? What's her name? How old is her son? Why was he taken away?" Julia sighed. "Her name is Ana Velasquez. She's around 30, but I didn't ask exactly. Her son's name is Nico, and he's 9. He's a wonderful, smart, and mature boy. I don't know if Ana was married or who Nico's father is, but she once mentioned her first love, which ended tragically. Last, Ana worked as a music teacher at a private school. She earned a decent salary and worked hard, but then the principal, who was married and in his 50s with grandchildren, took an interest in her. When Ana didn't respond to his advances, he made her life miserable. She stood up to him and reported him to his wife and the police. That's when things turned ugly. Someone broke into her apartment while she was out, leaving cigarette butts and empty whiskey bottles everywhere. When Ana returned with her son, social services and false witnesses were there, accusing her of neglect. They took Nico away, claiming Ana didn't care for him, which is a complete lie. I often visited her, and her home was always spotless. She didn't smoke and only had wine on special occasions. Ana was in shock. She knocked on every authority's door, trying to get her son back and clear her name, but to no avail. The principal also got her fired and publicly humiliated her. Since then, Ana has lost all hope, spending her time crying outside the orphanage. Nico is suffering there too, begging to come home. On TV, they show how well the kids are treated in orphanages, but it's a nightmare. I feel so sorry for Ana and Nico. I don't know what to do against that cruel old man with connections who ruined my neighbor's life. Carlos was shocked, tears stinging his eyes. Everything fit together. It couldn't be true, he thought. He asked in a trembling voice, Julia, please bring Anna here tomorrow. I need to see her, at least hear her. We know each other, but it's a long story. Do as I ask, please. The girl was surprised but agreed. Okay, I'll come with her tomorrow morning if she's willing. But how do I explain this to her? Carlos, his voice choked with emotion, said, just tell her Carlos is waiting for her. Julia went to feed Lena lunch, while Carlos locked himself in his study, buried his head in his hands, and began to recall his youth with Anna. He grew up with his mother alone, never knowing his father, who was an explorer. But as Carlos grew, he understood everything on his own and stopped asking questions. From an early age, he loved music and could sit alone for hours listening. One day, while visiting friends with his mother, 5-year-old Carlos sat at a piano and simply touched the keys, playing a simple melody. His mother decided to enroll him in music classes, where he met Anna. He remembered being amazed by the sight of the pretty girl with big bows and a music folder. They sat at the same desk, and from that day, Anna and Carlos became best friends. Later, they enrolled in a music conservatory together, enjoyed their first successes, and performed in concerts. Over the years, their childhood friendship gradually turned into true love. Anna was always a dreamer, caring little for material things. She lived for music, loved music, and paid no attention to the low salaries musicians earned or the need to live frugally. But all this bothered Carlos. Like any man, he dreamed of having his own home, a nice car, dressing well, and living comfortably. So after finishing the conservatory, he didn't pursue further education. Instead, he tried his luck in business and started his own venture, leading to more and more arguments between the couple. What are you doing? Don't give up on music. It's your talent. You are truly gifted, your fingers were made to play and create, Anna would say, but this only made Carlos upset. Anna, I don't understand you. You're not from this world. Don't you see we're poor? How can we survive on the few coins we earn from music? Who needs concerts now? I work to buy you those gold earrings, to dress you well, and to eat well. Any other girl would be happy with that. Instead, you could tutor and make good money instead of trying to teach me how to live. Anna felt deeply offended. She threw the earrings at her boyfriend's face. Take them. They're not a gift if you use them against me. Maybe it's better if we end this. I don't understand you. I don't know what's happened to you. Why have you changed so much? You've become hard, cold, and soulless. I want a quiet, simple family life. I don't need wealth. The most important things are loyalty, trust, and love. But you're obsessed with money. You disappear for days. Your eyes are red. You've abandoned yourself to music. When was the last time you sat at the piano? I won't tutor. I won't take money from children. Carlos waved dismissively. Fine, then leave. Live your life how you want, but you'll regret leaving me. I'll become a great businessman. We'll see. So they argued and ended things foolishly, without any good reason. Soon, Carlos managed to open a chain of mechanic shops. He worked day and night. Then he met Marina, got married, had a daughter, and other worries began. In this crazy whirlwind, there was no time to look back. But then he met Anna again and succumbed to her charms. He loved Isabella, but it wasn't the same pure joy he had felt with Anna and music. Now, hearing that same melody from his youth, written by Anna, his heart ached, and a wild desire overtook him. He wanted to find Anna again, to speak heart to heart, no matter how it looked. First love lives in a person's heart forever, never forgotten under any circumstances. He could barely wait for the next day. He meticulously shaved and dressed in the morning, eagerly waiting for Isabella to leave for the salon with her meaningless chatter about clothes and gossip. When Julia brought Lena back from school, she wasn't alone. Anna was with her, and Carlos could only see a blurred silhouette. The soft scent of her floral perfume and her sweet voice hadn't changed. "Carlos, is it really you?" Anna asked, surprised. When Julia told me yesterday that Carlos wanted to see me, I was shocked. "You've changed so much. You've become a strong and prominent man. What happened? Why did you want to see me? And why do you have a black band over your eyes? Are you sick?" Hearing her words, Carlos let the tears fall freely. He took Anna's hand and felt its softness and delicacy, with long fingers made for music. He whispered, "My dear Anna, I'm so happy to see you and breathe in your perfume again. We were foolish to end things back then. Do you ask what happened to me? 2 weeks ago, some men attacked me and sprayed pepper spray in my face. Now, I'm almost blind. I can only see blurry shapes. The doctors say I need surgery, but that doesn't matter. Julia told me you have a son, Nico. Anna, tell me, is he mine? Tell me the truth. Do we have a child together?" Anna sighed and answered softly, "Yes, Carlos, Nico is your son. I haven't been with any other man but you. No matter how much I tried to forget you, I couldn't. But they took my boy from me. My heart is broken. I can barely sleep. I just sit outside the orphanage, hoping he'll look out the window at me. What did I do to deserve this? I never did anything wrong to anyone. I hate the man who ruined my life. He bribed everyone just to hurt me as much as possible. I'm so desperate, I'm almost agreeing to his terms just to get my son back. There's no other way out." Carlos squeezed her hand tightly and almost shouted, "Don't even think about it. I'll help get our son back. Give me all the information you have. I'll find the right people and hire the best lawyers. Together, we'll bring that unscrupulous man down. I have connections in the police department. Remember Leo? You won't believe it, but he's now a police captain. So don't worry, I'll bring Nico back. I won't let my son wander through orphanages. Please trust me, Anna. Everything will be all right. I've never met anyone like you, and now I won't let you go." Anna found hope again. Carlos called Leo, who readily agreed to help his old friend, suggesting a sting operation. Anna had to call the principal and pretend to agree to his terms and set up a meeting. She was given a microphone, and her task was to make the principal confess everything. Then he could be arrested. That's what she did. Anna was so anxious that she was willing to do anything for her son. She took a deep breath and dialed the principal's number with determination. He answered reluctantly. "Finally remembered me, scared girl? Why are you calling?" Inside, Anna burned with rage but responded as politely as possible. "Gil, I beg you, give me back my son. I'll agree to anything. Let's meet. Tell me where and when." He smiled mockingly. "Fine, let's meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. in my office. I'll be waiting for you, my little sweet bird." Anna felt anger at his disgusting words. When she composed herself, she dressed as beautifully as her situation allowed, carefully hid the recording device, and went to the principal's office on shaky legs. The detective said that if things got out of control, Anna should open the window. When she knocked and entered the office, the principal was sitting in his chair, reclining and smiling. He looked Anna up and down and said, "Good evening, my little bird. I see life has been good to you, and you've become beautiful. Well done. It's been a while since we last met. Come, let me admire you." Anna almost choked on his audacity and was petrified. What if he tried something on her? But the thought of Nico and the police outside gave her courage. She began sipping champagne and eating sweets. "Gil, why the rush? We can't be like this. Let's drink, relax," she said. He didn't oppose, opened the champagne, and poured it into glasses. Meanwhile, Anna went straight to the point. "Gil, before we go any further, I need to be sure you'll give me back my son. Can you promise me that?" I know you're responsible for what happened, but how did you do it? I don't understand. How did you manage to tarnish my good name? Gil smiled. You should have been sweeter from the start. Then there wouldn't have been any problems. No one has the right to walk away from me. Do you think my secretary and the gym teacher work for free? They proved more skillful than you, and now they receive excellent salaries and regular bonuses. As for you, it wasn't complicated. A well-known friend of mine works in Child Protective Services. Thanks to my sponsorship, she got a job there, so she paid me back. She placed your son in an orphanage, and I hired some men and witnesses to create that turmoil in your apartment. Money solves everything these days, believe me. I used to love you. The more satisfaction you give me, the quicker you'll get your son back. Are you relaxed now? Let's start. You talk too much. Anna realized she couldn't wait any longer. She walked to the window and opened it quickly, praying for the police to come. The principal, surprisingly agile for his age, ran towards her. Anna defended herself, pushing him away. Gil started knocking everything off the table. There's no one here, not even the janitor. Why did you decide to fight back? Are you crazy? At that moment, the fragile door burst open, and the police rushed in, quickly arresting the scoundrel. Shame on you for such indecent behavior at your age. You're married with grandkids. How will they feel when they find out? The officer scolded. The principal struggled and shouted, You'll pay for this. I have contacts in the police. The officer calmed him down. We'll deal with that later. How did you manage to take that woman's child and cover it up? Anna finally relaxed, took a deep breath, and broke into tears from the stress. Return Nico to me now. He confessed everything, didn't he? Did I do everything right? She asked, handing the officer the recording device. He reassured her, We'll solve this. You'll be reunited with your son soon. Don't worry. I'll send that bragger to prison. People like him belong behind bars. The case made headlines, and the old man was convicted. The townspeople were ashamed he'd worked at the school for so many years. Anna got her job back, and her good name was restored. Most importantly, she was reunited with her son. She cried and kissed her little boy, who didn't want to let go of her embrace. Meanwhile, Carlos was anxious to meet his son, completely forgetting about Isabella. But she was watching from afar and decided to confront him. What's going on? You're always busy talking about Anna and her son. Can you explain? Isabella demanded. Carlos couldn't see his wife's furious face, but felt her intense anger. He realized he didn't want to live with her anymore, knowing she'd never get along with his daughter. Besides, his passion for her had quickly faded. Isabella had become increasingly controlling, imagining herself as the owner of everything. We need to have a serious talk. Anna is my first love. We went to music school together but broke up foolishly. I found out she was pregnant later. She had a son named Nico, so now I'm the father of 2 kids, Lena and Nico. Isabella exploded. Are you saying another child will live here too? I don't even want my own kids yet, and now you're pushing someone else's on me? Carlos replied with a bitter smile. You didn't listen, Isabella. Our romance happened so fast, but our passion quickly vanished. 2 years later, we're practically strangers. You don't get along with Lena, and I doubt you ever will. When I saw Anna after all these years, I realized I still love her. Tomorrow, I'll talk to the doctor about eye surgery. We might need to go our separate ways. I'll leave you the apartment and the car, fine, but you'll have to find a job and live like everyone else. Isabella stood up, shouting, I'm your wife. Half of everything is mine. I'll take what's rightfully mine. I've put up with your unbearable daughter for 2 years. At least say thank you. But I won't live with you anymore. I don't need this burden. I'm only 25 and have my whole life ahead of me. I'm not staying to care for someone else's kids and a blind husband. Yes, Isabella. Now that I'm incapacitated, I'm not good enough for you. Well, goodbye. I won't support you anymore, Carlos responded. She realized she had said too much and tried to change her approach. Let's stop here. We're both upset and said too much. Let's wait until you're better before having this unpleasant conversation. Don't rush the surgery. If complications arise, I'll take care of you. But it all sounded insincere and fake. Carlos simply turned away and responded, I've said everything. I need to listen to the meeting recording from my assistant. Isabella quickly left his office, seething inside. How will I live? I'll have to work? Well, good for you. I'm not cut out for this. Just wait, you'll remember me for a long time. Carlos decided to seek comfort with Ana, who offered to accompany and support him as a friend. Later, Julia and Lena returned home from their activities, exhausted. The house was a mess, with expensive items missing. Julia panicked, immediately calling the police and Carlos. We have an emergency. I think we've been robbed. Everything is upside down. The safe is open, the television is gone, and important documents are missing, she cried. She called the police again, come quickly. Carlos told Julia to stay with Lena in her room and not open the door until he arrived. Carlos turned on the camera and was horrified by what he saw. Isabella and the driver, Javier, were ransacking the house, taking everything valuable. Isabella had no idea about the cameras and yelled, See, dear? You'll remember me. Javier responded angrily, We should have finished him off back then. Now we'll live like kings here. Why is the police coming? Look, they've never passed by here before. Isabella shouted to Javier to hurry as Lena and Julia would be back any minute. They needed to sell everything quickly and buy tickets to a safe place. Carlos was in shock. The police quickly took fingerprints and rushed to capture the couple of lovers. Lena hugged her father, confused. I told you a long time ago, Dad, that Isabella didn't love us. She's bad, and you didn't believe me, did you? You'll throw her out now, won't you? Carlos kissed his princess. You're growing up so fast. Finally, she won't be living with us. But I'd like to introduce you to a nice woman. Do you remember when she came to visit us once? Her name is Ana, and she has a son, Nico. He's your brother. It's a long story, but you'll understand when you're older. I really hope you get along well. As for Isabella and Javier, they'll surely be punished by the police and go to prison. Suddenly, Lena asked anxiously, Dad, what did the doctor say? Will your eyes get better? Carlos replied to his daughter, I'm having surgery on Monday. You and Julia will stay together all the time, and Nico will be with you too. Your mother is coming with me to the hospital. Please listen to Julia in everything. Be a good girl. The police quickly found the lovers, following the trail to Javier's apartment, burned them out, and took them to the station. Now, both faced a decent sentence for trying to harm Carlos. Isabella was in a panic. The damp gray walls of the prison, the dirty mattress, and the terrible porridge filled her with indescribable horror. Only now did she realize what awaited her. She cried day and night, cursing herself, saying, Fool! Idiot! Why didn't I live in peace? And now what do I do? How did I let this happen? I need to urgently meet Carlos and beg for forgiveness. He is kind, he will forgive me. Do you agree to leave this city as far away as possible to anywhere but here? Meanwhile, Carlos filed for divorce, leaving all the confusion to his lawyer, and went for his surgery. Ana was by his side. Julia stayed home with the children. Nico was initially shy and embarrassed, but the lively and restless Lena quickly became friends with him, and the two got along well. One day, he felt at home. After school, he always visited Carlos in the hospital. The operation was successful, and soon the bandage would be removed from his eyes. Everyone waited anxiously for that moment. During this difficult period, Carlos, Ana, Julia, and the children grew so close that they truly became one big happy family. Nico understood his father was unwell and tried to behave well and not disturb him, especially since they always had fun and memorable moments with Julia. Finally, his bandage was carefully removed. The light hit his eyes immediately, and he instinctively closed them, with tears streaming down his face. Then he slowly began to open his eyes and see. He saw the world as it was before the tragedy. The doctor examined Carlos and was satisfied, ordering him to prepare for discharge. When Carlos walked out of the office, smiling, and saw Ana in the hallway, he exclaimed, "Dear, I knew you hadn't changed all these years. You've become even more beautiful, the same lips, long hair, and eyelashes, and the strand behind the ear. Ana, you are so beautiful. Finally, I can look at you. I'll admire you every second. I'll be grateful to Julia for the rest of my life for playing our melody on the piano." I almost fell. Everything in my soul stirred. "Ana, I'm so happy you came back into my life. I'm ready to sell this whole business that I've regretted. I've made enough money over the years for our whole family to live comfortably for many years. So let's try to live as you want, in love, peace, enjoying each other and our beloved music. Do you remember that?" Ana shed tears of joy and hugged Carlos. "These are the words I was waiting to hear from you back then. You know, I was so sad that you chose money and business over our love and music. Of course, I remember. I still love you. Do you remember our first kiss? You had to play the Moonlight Sonata for me, and then we spent the night looking for the Big Dipper in the night sky, kissing passionately. You wrapped me in your coat and held me gently, protecting me from the rain. And at that moment, I was the happiest person. Do you believe me? Let's go home. Everyone is waiting for us there." When Lena saw her father walking confidently out of the car, she understood he could see and immediately ran towards him. "Hooray, Dad, you've recovered. I'm so happy. Let's hurry. We made a cake for you. I'm sure you'll love it." Nico and I helped Julia. Nico stayed shy at a distance, not wanting to come closer. They hadn't talked much yet. Carlos told Lena to run home and approached the boy. "Well, hello, son. Finally, I can see you properly. We look alike, you can't deny that. Did your mother tell you that I'm your father? I'm so sad because I didn't know anything about you before, and 9 years of your life passed by me. But now that we've met, let me be a real father and a closer person. I'd like that very much. Know that I love you, son. I'll never hurt you and will always support you in everything you do." Carlos extended his hand to the boy and squeezed it firmly, then said softly, "I'm happy you're with me now. And look how your mom is smiling." Carlos hugged the boy tightly, pulling him close. "Let's all live together as one big family. It looks like you've made friends with Lena. She's your sister, so stay together, support each other in life. Well, let's go to lunch." From that day on, the life of the wealthy businessman Carlos Martinez changed drastically. He became a completely different person. He sold his successful and prosperous business and dedicated himself to caring for his family and music. With great satisfaction, he approached the piano every morning, playing his favorite melodies, many long forgotten. He even took out an old music notebook. Ana became his personal teacher and also taught the children. In the end, it was great because Ana and Carlos had colossal natural talent, so they decided to take a risk and open a private music school. The couple got married modestly, not wanting to draw attention to their lives. They didn't have time for that because they couldn't stop admiring and looking at each other. Now, only Carlos realized that all these years, he had been living someone else's life. He chose the cursed job, a cursed woman, and was dragging that burden. The only thing he didn't regret was his daughter, Lena. She was his ray of sunshine, a reason to live and grow all this time. Ana quickly became friends with Lena as she was naturally kind, loved children, and worked at the school. Julia initially feared she would be fired, but Carlos and Ana rushed to reassure her. Don't worry, Julia. Stay in our house. You are no longer a stranger to us, and the children can't be without you. Even with Lena, it wasn't boring here, and now we have 2 more kids. Everyone needs to pay attention to them. During all this time, Isabella was detained awaiting trial, and she prayed for a meeting with Carlos. However, he wasn't in a hurry and dragged it out until the end. He wanted to teach her a good lesson to discourage her from ever wanting to deceive anyone again. The young woman grew thin, and her skin became dull and lifeless. The thought of spending the next years in this suffocating environment made Isabella feel ill, and an overwhelming sense of despair and health problems dominated her. So when they told her that her ex-husband was ready to meet her, she almost jumped with joy. Seeing Isabella, thin, wearing a shabby gown with a tuft of greasy hair at the back of her head, Carlos entered the negotiation room. He was surprised by the difference in Isabella. He knew she had changed a lot. There was no trace of her former confidence and insolence. The woman started crying, tears streaming down her face. "Forgive me, Carlos, if you can. I know I'm to blame for everything. Now, I'm left with nothing. I beg you to drop the charges. I don't want to go to prison. I'm desperate here. I promise I'll immediately go to my mother's house and never show up in your life again. Please forgive me." Carlos replied, "I hope the jail has served as an excellent lesson for you. You won't steal someone else's property anymore, at least not from the hands of the one who feeds you, and you won't mistreat your next husband either. This plan failed. Now I see that my vision has fully recovered, so know that Lena is a wonderful girl. She gets along well with Julia, Anna, and her brother, Nico. And it wasn't about her after all. It was about you, an egotistical and calculating person who only thinks about her own interests. I will drop the charges, but if you show up again, you'll surely end up in prison." I kept the security camera recordings. Isabella cried and whispered softly, "Thank you. You are a true human being." Afterward, the family lived in peace and harmony. Now, many people in the city and their children wanted to attend their music school. Lena and Nico also learned to play, but the boy chose the violin and drums, and Lena still chose the piano. Anna often composed her own melodies and wrote poetry. They had family songs that everyone liked to sing together. Finally, Carlos's life was filled with the meaning he had always dreamed of.